Welcome back to Action Figure Obsession. It's me, your old pal, Avian and Loaded. I mean, I'm old, but I'm not a dinosaur. A prehistoric saber-toothed tiger from the Savage Land. What you're looking at here. Oh, welcome back. Did I say welcome back to Action Figure Obsession? I might have. I might have said that. That sounds like something that I might have said. This is, in my opinion, and you had to make multiple purchases to get both of these together, but this is the Ka-Zar, Ka-Zar the Savage from the Savage Land figure, most famous for his appearances with some people in some X-Men comics, but there was a wonderful Ka-Zar the Savage comic book in the early 80s. It was one of the first direct market Marvel comics, that and Moon Knight by Doug Mensch and Bill Sienkiewicz. And then you had Ka-Zar by, I want to say, oh boy. Was it Bruce Jones and Craig Anderson? I think. Was it Craig Anderson? Was Craig Anderson the guy that drew Astro City? Am I making that name up? I haven't thought about him in years, so forgive me. It was the guy that drew the God Loves, Man Kills graphic novel, the X-Men graphic novel, and the guy that drew, oh my God, Astro City, Kurt Busiek's Astro City, most of it. My memory is right out the door, and I just mentioned to somebody I should go downstairs and get some caffeine. Well, anyway, so, and I'm trying to do something different with the lighting here so we don't get so many shadows, but we'll see what happens. Here's Ka-Zar. He was a single-packed figure. He came with that spear. He came with an extra set of hands so you could have fists or trigger fingers or one of each on each hand. You turn him around. He's got a little surprise, a little knife that he has on a loop there. I don't know how effective that would be. It seems to me that the knife would cut through the loop if the knife was any good, but what can you do? The knife, it looks like, is cast in like a light gunmetal gray plastic, and then the handle is painted a bronzy gold. There's his Savage Tookus in his loincloth. And he's got brown undies underneath for you perverts, if you're wondering. That's what's going on under there. And he is a thing of beauty. I love Ka-Zar. My actual favorite Ka-Zar appearance was in Marvel Fanfare 1-4, which was drawn, the first couple issues, I think, were drawn by Michael Golden, and the second two issues were drawn by Paul Smith, the legendary Paul Smith. And Brent Anderson. Brent Anderson, not Craig Anderson. I don't know who Craig Anderson is. Apologies, Mr. Anderson. Brent Anderson drew the Ka-Zar the Savage series in the early 80s, one of the first direct market Marvel superhero comics. And Brent Anderson drew it. Brent Anderson. Okay, now I remember. I don't know what's wrong with me. But, by the way, the direct market comic, that meant that those books weren't available for sale at supermarkets or drugstores or newsstands. They weren't distributed by traditional distribution systems as they existed from like the 1920s to into the 1980s and probably beyond for, some magazines and things like that. Marvel at some point decided that they were going to see what would happen if they just distributed a comic to comic book stores. And Ka-Zar was one of those test titles, and for a time it was very popular. Moon Knight was even more popular. They picked two of the best characters to possibly do it with, characters that already had a solid, they're B-list characters at best. Arguably, Ka-Zar might be a C-list character, but screw you if you think so, because I just love him. He's Marvel's Tarzan, Who doesn't love a Jungle King? Lord Kevin Plunder, the Savage Ka-Zar, Ka-Zar the Savage. I didn't get Shanna because I didn't get the Shanna the She-Devil because I didn't get that 2-pack that they, stupidly put her in. She should have been in the same wave with Zabu, the Build-A-Figure, and Ka-Zar. So yeah, so Ka-Zar, you could just buy the one figure and you'd had Ka-Zar, and that was great. It was a great self-contained purchase. He came with the spear, blah, 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 the knife, everything I told you about, extra hands. For the Build-A-Figure, you had to buy, I think, 6 figures. I forget which piece came with Ka-Zar. I did dust him off because it's been a while since I took him off the shelf. But look at this guy. Look how big he is compared to Ka-Zar. He's bigger than a human. He is supposed to be as I say, a prehistoric saber-toothed tiger. He is one of the best examples of how well Hasbro can do the animal companions. He's got an articulated jaw that you can open or close. There it is, open. There it is, closed. Good kitty. Good kitty. Good kitty. What a good kitty. And look at those green eyes. Those stunning green eyes on Zabu. The articulation is okay. You get the Hasblos like in the front. They're not double jointed or anything. But the important thing I think with the animal companions is really just to preserve the look of the animal and capture the character of the individual animal, as seen in the comics in this case. And I think they did that with Zabu here quite well. The only Zabu we had previous to this was, oh God, was it Hasbro? Very early Hasbro, or was it Toy Biz after they... There was a 3-pack that had Shauna and I know I said Shanna earlier. I'll probably go back and forth on that. Shanna, of course, was Shanna was Ka-Zar's love interest, and I think she was some kind of scientist who didn't dress much more modestly than Ka-Zar did, although I think she might have worn a top of some kind from time to time. And there was a 3-pack with Shauna and Ka-Zar and Zabu, and they all were kind of weird and janky looking. I'm thinking maybe it was Toy Biz, but I'm not 100% sure. And I used to see it at conventions, and it was really expensive back in the... I'm talking 20, 22 years ago. The thing was like $100, and there was no... I wasn't making enough money at that time to drop $100 on that set. And now I'm glad I waited. Although I wish I had Shauna, but I don't want the Shauna from that. I want the more recent one that came in the 2-pack with Rogue, the Savage Land Shauna the She-Devil. Yeah, I'll probably never have her. But, regrets. What are you going to do? But in my opinion, this set of figures is the best thing that Hasbro Marvel Legends did in the calendar year 2024. I have said many times, and I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to try to say it without knocking anybody over. Let's see. Victory. I think the best figure of 2025 was Spaceknight. Long-awaited character, long overdue, long needed in the Marvel Legends line. Nostalgic, but they just knocked it out of the park. Brand new sculpt, I think, on just about every piece on him. There were idiots that thought him and Titania had the same boots because apparently people really don't understand anything. Painted all over, just absolutely stunning and gorgeous. I mean, from January 1st, 2024 until December 31st, 2025, these are the best 3 things you could get from Marvel Legends, and I will die on that hill. I just don't care. Absolutely the best, and if Marvel Legends could turn out stuff like this every time, even 1 or 2 figures in every wave. I mean, we've had entire waves of Marvel Legends that have just been trash. The ones that end up at Ollie's or Ross, and people still won't buy them for, $4.99 or $6.99 or $9.99. All that shit's just ending up in a landfill at some point. Some manager is like, you know what, just get the shit out of here. Even kids don't probably want them for free. Tragic. But, so I did bite the bullet. I bought the entire wave so that I could build a Zabu. That was not a chance I was willing to take on, having to go on eBay and buy a leg or, his head or whatever. So off the top of my head, that meant buying that really, really ugly werewolf girl that was just hideous. It was a Rain Sinclair. What is her superhero name? I can't even remember. Yeah, that figure was terrible, and it was super gummy plastic and a terrible sculpt, and I got rid of it almost immediately. I might have thrown it up on the X-Men shelf for a day or two, and I got mad at it and got rid of it, because it was garbage. It was hot trash. I can't even remember the character's name now, and I used to like her back when she was in the New Mutants. Rain Sinclair. What was her superhero name? I can't remember. Hated the figure that much, I guess. So I got her, and who else did I have to buy to get this in the Zabu Build-A-Figure? Icarus was one. I remember that. That's Jack Kirby design. I didn't mind buying that. That's another Paul Harding head sculpt too. Not a million miles away from what you're seeing on Ka-Zar here, kind of similar, and he's a long-haired blonde guy, so you know, you could always mix it up if you had an extra Ka-Zar and put the Icarus head on him and the Ka-Zar head on Icarus, and have, you know, two different looks for Ka-Zar. I don't think anybody would. The action figure police aren't coming to your door if you do that. That's what I'm saying. But who else was in that wave? Because there were some others that I liked. I mean, this is a good. I used to have another phone sitting right here, but it died on me. I mean, died. Even plugged in, it wouldn't come on anymore. I could just look up that wave. It doesn't matter. Oh, Cable. Marvel versus Capcom Cable. He was probably the other big one in that wave. And if his legs weren't so weak looking, like he has polio but can still stand up, that probably would have been one of the best figures of the year, too. As Anthony's Customs pointed out, from the waist up, that Marvel versus Capcom Cable in 2024 was the figure of the year. But as long as you're not looking at his legs, because he's got those weak-ass, very, very thin, very slender, very short Hercules legs. The legs that first came on the Retro Hercules and the one before that, that I think was just a single-carded, regular, mainline Marvel Legend figure. So, yeah, just I don't have a spinneroonie to spin him around on. But just so you can get a good look at him, here's Zabu. Let's make him look a little more savage. Get that rage going, the kitty rage, with that jaw hanging over, threatening you. And for funsies, I did buy 2 Ka-Zars. I mean, I fucking love this Ka-Zar. I probably should have bought more and had the money to do so. I don't know why I didn't. Maybe I didn't see any more in the store. But I did buy a second one, and I kitbashed him with the Old Man Hawkeye head. And here's Old Man Hawkeye with the Ka-Zar head. I don't know. It's kind of fun, right? You could be a young, you know, rebellious Hawkeye with long hair. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to stick, but this is probably going to stick because I really like this. I love the Old Man Hawkeye head. It's so resilient and so versatile, I think is the real word I was looking for. Gave him the axe from the Walmart exclusive sort of semi-deluxe Doctor Strange that came with the 3 heads and all the things, and was the Doctor Strange that we had been waiting for since the Marvel Legends line began. So this could be Old Man Ka-Zar. This could be Conan the Barbarian, except I think he has the wrong skin tone and he's looking a little skinny. But that's okay. It's my headcanon and my action figures, so for the sake of whatever. And the axe is, to me, very Conan-esque, so I'm going to say this is Old Man Conan. Maybe he's just on the paleo diet for obvious reasons. I love the axe that came with Doctor Strange. It's got a beautiful wash on it and really brings out the highlights, all the filigree and the just absolutely ornate nature of the axe. Look at the chips that have been taken out of it from all the times that it's been used to cave somebody's head in or knock down a door. The paint they laid on that baby. My God, why can't they just do it like that all the time? The answer is they could. The answer is we wouldn't mind paying $50 a figure if it was always like that. But it's not. And now they're charging us $50 a figure and it's crap. You know? Maximum Hulk, Maximum Deadpool with his arm falling off, Maximum Hulk with his chest overlay tearing, Maximum Spider-Man, too short and an ugly unmasked head sculpt and a bunch of web effects that nobody uses, nobody wants. All those figures should have been $35, maybe $40 for the Hulk if he'd had a good chest. If he had any chest. He has no chest. It's hollow. Squishy Boob Hulk. Hashtag Squishy Boob Hulk. Oh, man. Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. Especially if you're Dwight Stahl or Dan Yoon. But anyway. Yeah, so I got my, maybe it's Ka-Zar Senior and Junior here. Could be. And then, just for comparison, here's Guinevere. Let's put them kind of on an even keel. Guinevere, the Black Panther from the Dungeons & Dragons Forbidden Realms 2-pack. Guinevere is a little smaller than, Guinevere is a little smaller than Zabu. How do I do a height comparison? I guess like in that movie, Ass to Ass. Remember that movie? What was that movie called? Can't remember. Ass to Ass. I'll put him ass to ass. So yeah, so you can see that physically, Zabu is a little bit taller. Maybe I'm not good with the metric system. You know, maybe a centimeter, 2 centimeters taller. Guinevere, after all these years, and maybe I could Kiki's joint fix this away, but Guinevere kind of has a sway back. Like I can kind of force her into, you know, standing up straight, but it generally reverts to that, you know. But it gets the head up higher, so, you know, you win some, you lose some. You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have a saber-toothed tiger and a Black Panther. The Black Panther has those beautiful yellow eyes. Oh my God, is that not exquisite? It's the next best thing to having an actual Black Panther. And then Zabu has those gorgeous green eyes. Zabu's got Betty Davis eyes, you know. Let's get the boys back in here. The boys are back in town. My Ka-Zars, Ka-Zar Jr. and Senior, Kevin Plunder Jr. and Senior, or Ka-Zar and Conan the Barbarian. You know, pick your poison. It's your headcanon. The action figure police aren't going to come to your door. Hey, open up. You can't do that. You can't do that, Kitbash. That's not Conan the Barbarian. Conan the Barbarian is ripped. That guy's just in good shape. Open the damn door. It's the action figure police. I mean, there are people that really think that way. You know that, right? Bunch of action figure nut jobs. They must have some kind of action figure obsession or something. So here we are, face to face, couple of silver spoons. I mean, you know, Kevin Plunder, Lord Plunder, he's definitely a silver spoon, right? He was born into wealth. Not the Epstein class, probably. I think he would take that spear and show the Epstein class what's what. Maybe that axe, too. But, you know, there's still time. There's still time. So, yeah. Figure of the year, 2024. Ka-Zar and Zabu. I consider them a single unit. I mean, it's Batman and Robin. It's the Lone Ranger and Tonto. It's Bo and Luke Duke. It's John and Paul. And then off to the other side, it's George and Ringo, you know. And then, you know, just for fun, 2025's very best action figure. Well, very best Marvel Legends action figure. I mean, Mafex or whoever might have done something better in 2025. But generally speaking, these days, I can't afford Mafex prices. Tough times, man. Tough times. It's the second Great Depression. I don't know if you saw that chart, but the ratio of income for workers versus the wealth of the elite right now is exactly the same as it was in 1930 at the height of the Great Depression. And that's why everything seems so expensive, because we don't have any of the money. So look that up. Look up that chart of 1930 to 2026. It's fascinating, absolutely fascinating. And there's a video on it. Where did I? Trying to remember who did that video. If you just look up 1930, 2026, Great Depression, Second Great Depression, I think might have been the name of the video. Didn't mean to get all political. I think I did 2 or 3 times, but you know. That's what you're coming here for, right? A bunch of digressions and nonsense and some pictures of action figures. Which you like better? You like my Conan the Barbarian / Old Man Ka-Zar, or Young Man Ka-Zar, Guinevere the Black Panther, beautiful, beautiful Zabu, good kitty, beautiful kitty, nice kitty, please don't eat me kitty. And of course, the GOAT of 2025, the mini comic wave, ROM Spaceknight. Some good shit right here on the table right now. These ain't your Ollie's specials and all the other crap that's clogging up the table waiting to be kitbashed, or, well, not Captain America's. Those are all masterpieces. But there's a lot of Ollie's stuff on here. You know, those basketball players all came from Ollie's, $6.99, which is, you know, not much more than they should have been in the first place, instead of $50, Hasbro. I wonder why that line failed. And that was like 4 years ago. 4 or 5 years ago, $50 for an action figure. And the basketballs were stuck to their hands. They were molded on. You couldn't even take the basketball off and, you know, use it for play with other characters. Fucking Hasbro, man. Hasbro gonna Hasbro. That's what I say. They never fail to fail. It's the easiest thing to do. Thank you for joining me for this special Lord of the Savage Land edition of Action Figure Obsession. Almost said adventure. It's always an adventure. If you liked the video, please leave a thumbs up. If you hated the video, if you hate Ka-Zar and Zabu and Guinevere and Old Man Ka-Zar / Conan the Barbarian and Rom Spaceknight, the greatest Marvel legend of the century. Well, not of the century, maybe of the century. Certainly of the decade so far. Yeah, if you hate all this great stuff that I'm showing you, please leave me a thumbs down. Please do. And leave a comment. Love to know what you think. Any questions, any commentary or observations, any opinions on any of this stuff? I'm right here waiting for you. Give it to me, baby. And share the video if you know anybody who likes barbarians or extinct saber-tooth dinosaurs or Black Panthers or Space Knights named Rom. Share it with them. Hit the share button. Send them, copy the link and send it to them. Tell them, hey, check this crap out. Look at what this guy's doing. Yeah, feel free. And I think that's going to do it for this edition of Action Figure Obsession. Thanks for spending 21 minutes and 15 seconds with me, and I will see you on the very next edition of Action Figure Obsession.